وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك فاتبعوه واتقوا لعلكم ترحمون.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Firstly, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We come to another session of the Quranic themes, and last time we discussed the greed of wealth. So we identified a number of ways that people go somewhat a little crazy for wealth, and it can make people kind of drunk to try and be after wealth, and they want wealth, and it kind of drives them in different directions. Today we want to concentrate on general ayats that have spoken about wealth. So last time was about the greed of wealth specifically, because that is something which is a thing that the shaitan will use. In fact, when the shaitan, he had an argument with Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal told him that Allah obviously knows everything, and he said, this is in the Quran, Surah Isra, Surah number 17, ayah number 64. Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَاسْتَفْزِزْ مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتَ مِنْهُمْ بِصَوْتِكَ. To the shaitan, Allah said that use your voice to try and see who you can manipulate from the sons of Adam, from the daughters of Eve. وَأَجْلِبْ عَلَيْهِمْ بِخَيْلِكَ وَرَجِلِكَ وَشَارِكُمْ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ وَعِدْهُمْ. Specifically, Allah Azza wa Jal said that try and make them mix themselves when it comes to wealth or when it comes to children, meaning that those people who are not careful of how their progeny is kept on this earth, like the man and woman relationship, if they're not careful, then the shaitan has got them. And the same way with wealth, because sometimes, whatever Allah has made halal is halal, whatever Allah has made haram is haram. And those people who will mix halal and haram in their wealth, shaitan has got them. So what is wealth in general, and how has the Quran looked at wealth as part of this theme? Wealth is a means to an end, nothing more than that. Wealth is a means to an end. So wealth itself is not bad. Wealth itself is not good. It's not good, it's not bad. It's in the hands of the one who occupies it. And it's in the hands of the one who spends it or earns it, or how they earn it, how they spend it, whether it's halal or whether it's haram. So it's like a knife. A knife you can use to cut meat, to cut vegetables, to cut things which is of benefit. But a knife, you can pick it up and you can harm someone, which is going to be haram. The same way wealth. Wealth can actually take a person to the closest to Allah Azza wa Jal. Think about what the Prophet ﷺ said in terms of wealth. So for example, in one hadith it says that a man who is honest in his business will be resurrected amongst the prophets on the Day of Judgment. A man who's honest in his trade, in his business, to the nearest meaning of what the Prophet ﷺ said, this person will be resurrected amongst the prophets on the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ has told us that every man will be under the shade of his Sadaqa on the Day of Judgment until Allah has dealt with people. So the more Sadaqa you've given, the more of a shade that is above you. Because we know that the sun is going to be above people's heads, and the sun is going to be very intense, and you need some shade. So there's the shade of Allah Azza wa Jal's Arsh, yes, and there's the shade of Sadaqa on the Day of Judgment. And the more Sadaqa you've given, the more of a shade there will be above a person's head. And also, the Prophet ﷺ in another hadith has said that Surah Baqarah, Surah Al Imran will become shades on the Day of Judgment. But these are separate sort of ahadith. But wealth is something which can shade a person on the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ has told us that wealth can protect a person from hellfire. It will be like a shield against hellfire. In fact, wealth in all our aspects of our lives, if you do it in the right way according to the Quran, everything is making you come closer to Allah. So for example, if a man gets married, from the moment he gets married, there's hasanat, there's good deeds, there's good deeds, there's good deeds. So for example, Allah Azza wa Jal has said, when we get married, Allah said to give the mahar, to give the dowry to one's wife. This is in Surah Nisa right at the beginning. and that wealth which you give is going to be a means of your good deeds. Thereafter, all the things that a man will spend on his wife, this is all to do with gaining reward. So if you look in Surah Nisa, there are plenty of ayats to talk about how wealth is used in the right means. So this is Surah number 4, ayah number 34. Allah says, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم. For the fact that men are going to spend on women, the fact that Allah has made it obligatory upon men to spend on women, this is something which Allah has given them as a duty. And by doing that, imagine all your life. I know a lot of people don't think of this. A lot of people think, okay, I've got to give Sadaqa this Friday, I'm going to give some Sadaqa, or I've given some charities in abroad or some other place. And people generally think that that's my hasanat, and those are my good deeds from my wealth. What a lot of people miss out on is every day, every man, and even every woman, there might be women who are working and who might be spending wealth on their family members. When you spend monies on your own household to feed your own kids, to feed your own wife, when you do that, every single time you spend it, it is hasanat, it is good deeds. Every moment you do it. In fact, when a man goes out to work, a woman goes out to work, because you're doing it in terms of your niyyah, your intention is that I'm going to work and I'm going to create a family and I'm going to look after the family. From that wealth that I get, the house, the belongings, the furniture, the children's, to bring the children up. Every moment, I mean, you think about this, how Allah has made our deen. So this wealth that you're earning in a halal way, every time you go out to earn it, you get reward. Because you had a choice. Your choice was you can go out there and you can earn haram money or you can earn halal money. And you chose to go out there and earn halal, so you get reward. You have a choice. In every single one of these, you have a choice. Like, for example, to understand this point, you might think, well, what's the big deal in a person just going out there and just earning money? Why is he rewarded for that? Because of the fact that the person had a choice and they chose to do halal. It's like when you go to the shop and you want to buy something, and you look at the ingredients to see if it's haram or halal, you get reward for actually doing that because you're searching for the halal. The fact that you've passed 10 butcher shops and then found the halal one and ordered from there, there's reward in that. Because Allah is recording the fact that you steered away from so many harams and went for the halal. The fact that you steered away from so many other women who were haram for you, and then you found this one woman and you did nikah and it's halal for you, you get reward for that. And everything that you will spend, and every moment that you will do for that woman, and everything for your children, and every stage of their lives that you will spend on their clothes, on the food, and so on, that is actually a form of sadaqah. In a hadith of Muslim it says that the best form of sadaqah is what a man spends on his own family. Think about it. Some people they love spending elsewhere, but they don't spend on their family. There are some men like that. I know there are some men like that. They have such pride going out there giving so and so outside. So and so. For some reason, they don't like spending on their own family. Maybe it's a pride thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the people who are close to me, they don't give me as much credit than the people outside. But the thing is, to spend on your own family, there's a lot of hasanat. Now think of this, as you're going through the whole of your life, anytime you make a business or something, Allah Azza wa Jal has given you a choice. When you choose halal, then it's going to be rewarded, hasanat in that. When you choose haram, you're going to get, move away from Allah Azza wa Jal and put yourself towards Jahannam if you're going to spend it in the wrong way. So let's say a man comes to a trade. When a man comes to trade, the Quran has spoken a number of things when you're trading with one another. Allah has said, لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل. Allah Azza wa Jal has said, this is in Surah Nisa, Surah number 4, ayah number 29. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe, لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل. O you who believe, don't consume wealth amongst yourselves in a way that is not allowed, in a false way that is not allowed. So when we're trading wealth, in every step we've got to be careful and to make it halal. Now let me tell you a few things that all people need to understand in terms of making a trade halal. What the Quran and the Sunnah have been clear on is the more you are open with your trade, with your transaction, the more clear and transparent you are, the less obscure you are, the less you kind of make sort of something which later on might lead to an argument, and the more clarity you have at the beginning of the trade, the more honest you are. The more honest you are. And 0% lying and 0% hiding anything and being sly about your product or whatever it is, that is all to do with Islamic trade. That is halal. The more you move towards obscurity, it now moves to a gray area. The more you move towards hiding something, the more you move towards, especially if it's lying, the more you move towards something which you haven't discussed today, which is going to get you to have an argument tomorrow, or something that is obscure, now it is going to move towards a haram trade. It's very simple, a very simple rule. Upon this, all the rules of trading in Islam has been made. So for example, a lot of people don't know this, that let's say for example, I'm going to call a painter to my house, or I'm going to call a little, carpenter or someone to my house. So the carpenter looks at the room, says, okay, I'm going to build this, I'm going to build up. And then you say to him, okay, how much? And he says, maybe this much. So he says, maybe it's going to be £2,000, maybe between 2,000 and 3,000 pounds, something like that. Maybe around 2,000 pounds. And then you tell him to go off, get the material and come back and work. It's not halal. A lot of people don't know this. Not halal. Why? You have to be spot on. How much? Spot on. Tell me exactly. Okay, if you're going to tell me to get the materials, I get the materials, no problem. Your labor, be very clear how much is your labor. Absolutely to the spot. Like, okay, I'm going to charge for my labor £500. 500. Or I'm going to be working every single day, this many days, and pay me every day this much. Be spot on. If you're going to tell him to buy the materials, tell me exactly how much it's going to be. Why? Because the moment he said to you 2,000, then he said maybe 2,000. You know that maybe. After a little while he'll come back to you and says, I need more material. Oh, it's taking longer, it's taking this. Then it creeps up, 2,200, 2,300, 2,400, 2,500. Then it goes near 3,000, then it goes above 3,000. And then you're fuming. You said it was maybe 2,000. Well, how come it's 3,000 right now? Well, it's your fault, my friend. The Quran was very clear. When you make a transaction, now I'm not going to go into the details of this, but the Quran is very clear that you're supposed to even write it down. Write down the kind of transactions you're doing with your wealth. This is in Surah Baqarah, near the end of Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2. There's one of the longest ayahs in the Quran that deals with this. Ayah number 283 of Surah 282 of Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2. Allah says, "Faktubu, write it down. Be very specific. Be measured with what are you going to do, get into as a deal." And a lot of us, because we don't know the Islamic way of dealing and trading, that's why we move into a lot of problems. You're supposed to be very specific. Now you look at the Islamic sort of the Islamic banking and so on that is out there. There are many models, and I do understand that some people, in terms of the mortgage and all that, there's always this question. Subhanallah al-Azim. Okay, there's always this question wherever you go about this mortgage thing. Is it halal and so on? Can I get this? Can I get that? Now, I tell you what it is. We have got an opportunity now in the Western world where you can find Islamic banks or banks that offer you Islamic finances. Now, they might not be completely to the old school way of getting your, complete halal and the most ethical. See, there's one thing that is, you have to understand this, yeah? One thing that is halal and one thing that is ethical. You have to understand this, there's a big difference here. The Quran has said, go for halal and go for the most ethical. So for example, what the Quran would want is, if you, even with meat, if you're going to have halal, the Quran wants you to have a halal meat, but it wants the animals to also be organic, or animals to be reared in a halal way. The Quran has used a specific term. It said halalan tayyiba. Halal is halal. That is your law. Tayyiban is the ethical part. It's like pure, the purity of that. You've got to look at that side as well. I mean, most of us eating out there, a lot of the meats and so on that we are buying, a lot of those meats are halal. It says halal there. I'm talking about the genuine halal ones. I'm not talking about the ones where the shop, you walk in, you say, have you got any cows? Yeah, I had 5 cows coming inside. Yeah, and you look at the counter and you see 10 tails. The cow tails, you see 10 of them. So you say, hang on a minute, my friend, you had 5 coming in, you have 5. How come there's 10 tails? I don't know. I'm talking about the proper halal ones, right? So if you have a halal sort of meat and so on, the animals that are reared, how they're reared, where they're reared. I mean, come on, some of this stuff, if you check back, you can see that, there's chickens that are in, this called battery hens. There's thousands of them in cages. They're sort of letting their leftovers on one another. They're stacked up on one top of each other. There's beaks that are cut. There are claws that are cut. They are kept in very harsh conditions, and they're given injections, and they're given other sort of products to eat, which is not their normal diet, just to make them fat very quickly. And then yalla zaba need to make some money. And that's not ethical, all right? That might be halal. Right at the end, you say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and you do zabah. That's your halal. That's halal, fine. But the chicken itself is not ethically grown, and is not grown in the right way. So you gotta understand. The Quran has said halal and tayyiban. So there are a lot of things like this. You can go for something which is halal, but it might not be the best thing. Like, for example, one of you young boys, if you find a girl out there and you want to just get nikah done, it's halal. Don't get me, it's a Muslim girl, halal. But this Muslim girl, she's got her hair out, she's not wearing hijab, she's got her nails looking like cat claws. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get scratched tomorrow, bro. You know what I'm saying? You better watch out. See, it's not the right thing for you to do. Sometimes something might be halal for you, but not all things that are halal for you to do are the best thing in your interest for you to go for. Right? You got to understand this. That there's a whole thing about having something which is halal and having something which is ethical. What the Quran has spoken about again and again is that it wants us to make a choice with making, let's say for example, that person that came and he did a job or something, or some other thing that you're getting into, not only for you to make the choice of a halal, but for you to look at whether it's ethically right. So this mortgage thing I was talking about, they say it's Sharia compliant, right? Some of these mortgage things. Now I'm not gonna say here that all of you say that whatever banking system we've got now in the Western world, the Islamic ones are all completely no. What they did is this. They are offering us something which is halal, but sometimes they might not be always going about the ethical way. So for example, when you go and buy a house with an Islamic sort of finance thing, you will always find that they're charging you a lot more. So what it is, I remember when I took I'm on my second house, I took on a first one as well, but the second one as well I took on a different bank. So this was the HSBC sort of Amana finance and so on. I took it with that, and I remember. So what you got to understand is what's happening within the system. I remember I applied for it, and when you go and apply for these, these guys are like, they take donkey years to get back to you for a simple application. They're charging you so much money as well. So this guy, I was calling him, and he's looking at this, these bank statements of mine, and this financial history of mine, and that, and this and that. It's taken 2 months just to get one thing, one simple process. So in the end, I ended up in his office, and I said to him, bro, I said, I'm going to ask you straight up. I've been after this appointment for months. Okay, it's 2 months now. What's your problem? Why don't you just take the form and just deal with it? He said, look, I want to be honest with you. I said, what? He said, this was that time. Now HSBC Amana they've discontinued. He said that we're getting 65 applications a week from these Muslim customers. But these are not ordinary Muslim customers. And I want you to understand this. You know, sometimes people say that Muslims are bad and Muslims are bad. I want you to understand how good practicing Muslims are. You know, the practicing Muslims, we're very good. Say Alhamdulillah. Honestly, give ourselves a pat on the back. And this guy proved it to me. He said, these Muslims that have come with 65 applications I'm getting on my desk a week. He said, every single one of them has a AAA credit history. Every single one of them, no gambling, no alcohol, no riba, no usury, no spending here, there, no. Every single one of them paying all their bills on time. Every single one of them avoiding credit cards. They don't go into loans, they don't go into debts, they don't have bad credit history. When we've got 65 of them coming to us, we haven't got enough manpower to try and get them, and they're all very good customers, so we have to be very picky and choosy, but we've got too much demand. The whole thing was too much demand. Now you think about it, that's on the one good sense, so give yourselves a pat on the back if you're a good Muslim, alhamdulillah. That's us as good Muslims. We don't have bad credit history, alhamdulillah. No alcohol, no gambling, no nothing, no wasting money. You know, we've got salary coming in, you know, bills being paid out, salary coming in, bills being paid out, and no messing around, all right? Money's always there in the bank, never going under the zero balance. So then the next thing came, which was when I went through all the details, the bank started charging me maybe 2 or 3 times more than a conventional bank. Because they've got these 65 customers a week that are coming in, yeah, these customers are not going to go anywhere else. They know that. Are you guys with me? These customers are all looking for the halal. So they're not going to go anywhere else. So because these customers are not going to go anywhere else, the banks are like, okay, I'm going to sharpen my life. Halal. Do you understand? I'm going to do a proper zabah right now. I've got you lambs to the slaughterhouse. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Because I know you're not going to go anywhere else, I can charge you double, I can charge you triple. Now that side of what they did was not very ethical. And it's not just this one bank I'm talking about. I mean, most of them, they want to find ways where they can still get an X amount. I'm not saying all of them are bad. There are some of them I've come across. I don't want to take all the names and so on. Some of them that are good out there. And it's some of them have got very good sort of ethics that they've got. I recently went to, I had a meeting in Al Rayyan Bank. I'm not advertising them in any way, but I'm just saying I went there and they said, one of the biggest questions is, if the customer can't pay for the house, what does the bank do? So what Islam would normally say is that, okay, if the customer can't pay for the house, at that point you're supposed to sell the house and then take whatever the bank is owed and give the rest of whatever the customer is owed, give him his share. So let's say, for example, if the customer has paid 33% of the share of the house and the 67% is left, then and the customer can't pay anymore, so then the bank should take the house, sell it, and then whatever it makes profit of it, it should give 33% of it to the customer and keep 67%. That is fine. Because it's by, what normally happens in the conventional one is the bank will repossess the whole house and take everything. Okay? Because I'll tell you one thing what happens with the conventional, why should you go for the Islamic ones is this. The conventional banks, what they will do is they loan you the money. They give you the money and they say, okay, you go and buy it now. So now you got to pay me the money back and I'm going to charge you interest on the money, and I can push the interest up and down and so on. And if you can't pay, then I can seize the house and I can take the entire house just to pay off the entire debts and the interest. That is not good because it puts you in a very bad spot. What the Islamic banks do, they do a number of things. One of them is that, okay, you want to buy this house, let's say this is the house. You want to buy this house, okay, step aside, I'm going to buy it now. I as the bank, I'm going to buy it. So once I bought the house with my money, okay, I'm going to take from you a deposit. So let's say the house is 100,000. Just imagine as an example, house is 100,000. I want you to put 30% deposit. So you put 30,000 pounds down. So that's 30,000 towards that house. So you own a third of this and I own 2/3 of this. Now you want to live in the house. Since you want to live in the house, I'm going to allow you to live in 70% of my house, 30% of your house. But as you live, you're going to pay me rent. And as you go along paying rent, I'm going to give up my share of the house every week or every month as you're paying. Every month you're paying something, I'm going to give up from my 70 goes to 69, 68, and yours goes to 31, 32% like that. Okay? Now, one of the banks, those that Rayyan bank that I came across, they've actually got a clause in there now. Now you better check the details because I know this video is going to go out later on. One of the beautiful things I found about their ethics is that if the customer if the customer can't pay, then they will sell the house. Let's say in our scenario, 33% the customer has paid, 67% the bank should basically keep for itself. The bank has got a clause there that it says they will forego, they will let go of their part of the profits. Like they will keep the customer happy. Now I'm not saying that everything they've got in every clause is all very, ethically clean, whatever. Some things might not be. So one of the things that I don't like about most of these banks, what they do is that they know you're slams to the slaughterhouse, and they want to do what they like with you because they know you're not going to go anywhere else. That's ethically not right. There are a lot of things which you can do in a halal trade, which you should also look at the ethics of it as well. So for example, if I'm selling, let's say for example you've got cars, you want to sell a car. Morally, you should point out what's wrong with your car. So for example, I get up early in the morning. Every morning I get up and I've tried to switch my car on a cold day. It's like, and it coughs so many times, and it chokes so many times, and after about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then vroom, 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 I have to warm the car up and then it's fine. Customers come to buy my car. So what do? I make sure he comes and sees my car in the afternoon, when my car's already warmed up. Right? So he sees my car, he's very happy, like he goes for a spin, comes back and he says, yes, here's the money. Mr. So-and-so said, thank you. You buy it as you see it, no return. He says, okay, no return. Yallah. Next morning he wakes up and it's he says, this car is ill. It's sick. So then he comes back next day, after he comes back to me and says, hey, what did you sell me? I say, oh, you bought it as you saw it, no returns. But you knew that every morning he gives you trouble. So morally, you're supposed to tell the customer that, look, there's something in the morning you need to know about, that in the morning will take you. He might drop the price a little bit lower because of that. What are you going to lose out, my friend? 100, 200 pounds you're going to lose out. But you know what? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that when there's two tradesmen coming together, one wants to buy, one wants to sell. He has said, as long as, there's a hadith in Bukhari, he says, if both of them are honest and both of them are transparent, then Allah will put barakah and blessings in the trade that they make. But if one of them or both of them are hiding something, or one of them or both of them are lying about the transaction they're about to get in, then Allah's Messenger says, muhiqat barakatu bay'ihima. Their barakah and the blessings of the whole trade will be wiped away. So this is one thing the Quran tells us, subhanallah al-azim, that when you earn something which is halal, then you purify the rest of your wealth. It's like pure wealth going in. So for example, look, they give a very beautiful example about the whole thing about zakah. Like we know that we have to give zakah, and that's one of the things about giving wealth. So this is Surah number 9, ayah number 103. Allah Azza wa Jal says, خُذْ بِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah says, oh my messenger, take from their wealth, take some zakah. Take zakah from their wealth. By taking the zakah, it's going to purify their hearts and it's going to purify their wealth. تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. It does two things. Whenever you take halal inside and you're always looking for halal, 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 it's like this. It's like inside your house, there are only items coming in that are pure and clean. So some guy comes to your house with a delivery. He comes and the box is very clean. The items inside very clean. Your house is going to be very clean. The moment you got products coming inside your house that are dirty, greasy, oily, okay, smelly, heavy and bulky, but very, very dirty, right? The moment you bring a lot of these products inside your house is going to be what? It's going to get dirty, it's going to get greasy, it's going to get mucky, it's going to get a lot of marks on your floors, on your carpet, on your walls and so on, okay? The same thing with halal wealth and haram wealth. Whenever you bring halal inside, it's like you're bringing clean products inside the house. Your house will remain clean. Whenever you bring a haram inside, it's going to make, it's going to have a reverse effect on the clean house. Now, the Prophet ﷺ was told for him to take zakat from us. What does zakat do? By taking out the zakat, it purifies the rest of the wealth. The rest of the wealth is pure. You're going to say, how? How? I've got money here. Okay, it's all my money. And I have to give 2.5% out. How does it purify the rest of it? How? Well, I'll give you an example. It's a beautiful example the ulama gave. They said, your body, you have a lot of food, right? Your body, you have food, you have food, you have food. You have drink, you have food, you have drink, you have food. Okay? And you're storing it inside. You're saying, Allah, mashallah, mashallah, yallah, yallah, mashallah. You're so happy. You're storing it all inside. If you don't let out the excess of the food and drink, my friend, you're dead. You know what I'm trying to say? Like 24 hours later, if you don't go to the toilet and if you don't let out some business, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you don't let it all out, what's going to happen to your body? So if you say to yourself, no, it's all mine, no, I'm not going to go to the toilet. It's all mine. I'm going to keep it inside. What's going to happen? It's gonna kill you, my friend. You're gonna have constipation. You're gonna be going to the hospital. You need surgery after a little while, right, to try and get some, something out of there, all right, or some huge pills inside to try and flush it all out, right? And that's the thing about wealth. When you have wealth, Allah Azza wa Jal has, just like we have food. We have food, Allah identifies there's some excess. The excess needs to go out. The rest of it's beneficial for your body, it gets used. The rest of the excess has to go out. The same way, when you have a lot of wealth, Allah Azza wa Jal said, now you have to spend it. You have to take this much, you have to, it's fard. Zakat is fard. 2.5% of your savings and so on, you better give that out. There's a whole thing about how zakat is calculated, how much you have to have, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'm just giving you the philosophy behind it, which is that point, if you get that wealth out, Allah has made that money for you, what? For you it is something filthy. But that filth, if you were to go out, like, traditionally people went to the soil, right, they would go out there in the yard and they would do it. They wouldn't do it in toilets. Toilet is a modern thing that we've got for the last couple of centuries, wherever, okay? A few centuries. The original way to get rid of that is to go out there, okay? Find a nice spot, duck down and let it all out. And when you let it all out, when you let it all out, that thing that you let out is bad for you, but is good for the earth. Yes or no, guys? It's nice compost for the earth. The earth loves it. And it's gonna become good stuff for the earth. All right? Right? So for you it's bad, but for them it's good. For whatever's down, the little creatures and the rest of the earth and whatever, there's a little world out there. They need it. All right? For you, your zakat money is bad for you if you keep it. But for the fuqara and for the poor people, it's good for them. For them is halal, for them is good. And Allah Azza wa Jalla has said the whole point of wealth is for it to circulate amongst us. And He has told us, كَيْ لَا يَكُونَ دُولَةً بَيْنَ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ مِنْكُمْ. This is in the Quran, Surah Hashr, Surah number 59, ayah number 7. Allah has said, this money that I've given you, I don't want it to rotate amongst the wealthy. This is a very big philosophy of the Quran. That when the rich become more rich and they hoard wealth and they keep it amongst themselves, Allah says, no, I want it to circulate. I don't want it to clog up. Right now we've got a massive crisis. We've got about 1% of these real stats. 1% of the world's population owns 50% of the world's wealth. This is a real stat I'm giving you, okay? 1%. Can you imagine how much is clogged up? That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla has given us two things. One is that you give zakat out, another one is you give sadaqah. And in Sadaqa, Allah has told us to give and to give and to give as much as you can. And He's told us that the more you give, وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُ. Whatever you will give, I will give it back to you. It will be returned back to you. But there's a number of things which Allah wants us to think about when we give Sadaqah. Like when you give Sadaqah, there's a few things. So, this is in Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, ayah number 264, 263. Look all around there, you will find these words about Sadaqah. So Allah has said, okay, when you give Sadaqah, you're not supposed to give it to the poor person and then follow it with words that hurt them. لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى. Don't follow it with words that, oh, I gave you this and now you're talking to me like this. I fed you people, we gave you in the past, and now look at you from, in Somalia or in Bangladesh or in Pakistan or whatever. You people took money from us and we used to give you, and now you have a mouth to open in front of me, blah blah blah. This is mannan. This is according to the Quran, this is you boasting about your favors that you did yesterday. Allah says that you will spoil your sadaqah if you do that. And adhan is that you make a way of trying to hurt them by giving your wealth. Allah says that is not allowed. Allah says qawlun ma'ruf wa maghfirah. You should be a person that should use good words and be thankful that Allah has given you the opportunity to give the sadaqah in the first place. Then Allah says in the same surah, ayah number 274, He says, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ سِرًّا وَعَلَانِيَةً. That you spend your wealth by morning and you spend it by night and by day. So the thing about sadaqah is that you give it all the time continuously. You give as much sadaqah as you can. And all over the Quran, Allah has told us about giving sadaqah. In fact, He has said, ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى, give it to the people who are close to you. وَالْيَتَامَى, those who are orphans. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, those who are in need. And then Allah told us specifically not to forget about those people who are in need but they don't ask. This is a specific one, Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, ayah number 273. He has said that there are certain people who لِلْفُقَرَاءِ الَّذِينَ أُحْصِرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ ضَرْبًا فِي الْأَرْضِ يَحْسَبُهُمُ الْجَاهِلُ أَغْنِيَاءَ مِنَ التَّعَفُّفِ. When a person who does not know them looks at them, they think, oh, this guy is okay. This guy doesn't need wealth. And the person doesn't ask because of embarrassment. There are a lot of fuqara, a lot of poor people across the world like that. We normally see the one that is, we need to give them as well. The one that is right, bones are showing, or the stomach's turned in, and they're begging or they're asking. Yes, these are fuqara as well. But there's another set of fuqara, another set of poor people who don't actually ask. And Allah has praised them in the Quran. That they're not those people who are begging you, but they are in need. And for you to try and recognize the fact that they're in need from knowing and getting to know, they're in a part of their life, and then to give them. Allah has encouraged to do that. So, under this, what I'm going to say is that, most of us, when we give monies and so on with our wealth, most of us, if I stand up here for a masjid, everyone's going to be, yallah, 20 pounds, 10 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, masjid, yallah, yallah, sujood, oh my God, so many people are going to pray for me, oh my God, which is good. But I'll tell you one thing, England, alhamdulillah, has got good amount of masjids now. Yes, it needs more, but it's got a good amount. Do you know that the fact that we need to spend a lot more in our educational system? When you talk about education, when you say, oh, we're going to open a madrasa or education, people are like, education. Okay, £1, £2, £5, £10. Not your £20, £50, £100. No. That one is £1, £2. Okay. Then if you were to talk about a widow, oh, she's a widow. Okay. She needs to get married. Okay. There's widows. There's lonely people. There's people who are homeless. Amongst us, amongst our own crowds. But people are, oh yeah, okay, that's not my problem. That's not my masjid. That's not my, the big rewards that I can see. And we miss out on one thing, which is the actual, when you're giving money, you got to understand which one gets you more reward. Most of us think that the one that gets you most reward is the ones that we can see, like a masjid, so much tarawih and Jum'ah and Salah, and every 5 daily prayers you're going to pray. Oh my God, Quran's going to be taught there. Oh my God, that's it, the most reward there. You're missing out on one big thing. And I'm telling you now, and I've been saying this, but not everybody has the, not everybody, I don't know if you believe in it, or I don't know if you actually, digest it. A lot of people can't digest this. What made Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu come be the closest to the Rasulullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, closest to Allah after anyone in this ummah? After Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this ummah, the closest person is Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. What made him be that close? It was Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu who had a habit. His habit was to spend in those places where nobody else was spending. Like everybody else is going for the big thing, for the masjid, for the this, for the that, for the orphans, for the whatever, which is good. These things are also needed. But he would look for the one where nobody's giving. He would look for that widow. He would look for that lonely person. He would look for that thing where nobody else wants to give, and he would give there. And that's what made him come so close to Allah Azza wa Jalla and His Messenger. And you've got to understand that today you've got, when one person asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Messenger of Allah, what's the best form of sadaqah? And the Prophet ﷺ said, Anta saddaqa wa anta sahihun shahihun. He said, for the best form of sadaqah is for you to give when you are healthy but yet feeling stingy. So get a hold of this. I'm healthy. When a person is healthy, they've got no need to give. When a person is about to die, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to die, let me give my wealth away. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, when you're healthy, you're like, yeah, everything's fine. Why should I give for? Why should I give? I'm not in need of anyone. Everyone's in need of me. Okay, that's the kind of mentality you might have. So you're not in need of others, but others are in need of you, so then you sparingly give. But when you're about to die, then people think, when you're about to get into bad health, you think, well, I'm in need of others, right? Or need of giving charity. So that's one. You're healthy, you don't need to give. Second thing he said, but you're feeling stingy. You're feeling inside that, I don't want to give. The more you feel I don't want to give and you give, imagine a man who's tight. The tighter you feel and the more sadaqah you give at the moment you're tight, the most reward is in that. Especially when it comes to certain things that we don't want to give in. You think, no, I don't want to spend there. I know they need it, but I don't want to spend. I want to spend over here. Now look, you go against that and you spend over there, you probably got more reward over there because nobody's giving over there. That's how Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu got so close. And this is one thing we have to understand, that this is the principle of the Quran Sunnah, which is you need to spend, yes, but try and be diverse in how you spend and where you give it. One thing the Quran has spoken about is the fi sabilillah, to give in the path of Allah or to spend in the path of Allah. And there's two things that come in there. One is anfusahum wa amwalahum. One is yourself, ourselves, the sacrifice that we make, and the other one is the wealth that we spend. And in return of both of them, Allah Azza wa Jalla has promised Jannah. This is Surah number 9, ayah number 111. So, Inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum bi anna lahum jannah. As we spend money, the more and more money we're spending in the right way, we actually are trading Jannah in return of our monies. Allah says, I will take from you the sacrifice that you make of yourselves, and I'll take the sacrifice of your wealth, and in return I will give you Jannah. So for example, you go to Hajj, you're spending money, it's full reward. Going to Hajj is two things. You're sacrificing yourself, your time and what you're doing, your body and your energy. You're sacrificing all that for Allah's sake, but at the same time you're sacrificing money. And the money that you sacrifice to go to Hajj, all of it is reward. I do understand that these days the Hajj, monies that we're spending is just going up and up and up and up and up and up, and it's not stopping. It's something which I wish we had regulators to stop the amount of monies that are being charged. It's very unfortunate we haven't got regulators, but just know for one thing that when you're spending your monies for Hajj or Umrah and it's costing you a lot of money, every penny, every pound of it, every dollar, every cent is getting you a lot of reward. Because that is something which Allah said, I'm trading this to give you Jannah in return. Now, throughout your life, I've talked about family life. I've talked about trade. Now let me talk about social life. So part of this giving sadaqah is our social life, our society. We're spending in whatever we can. Okay, each and every step of this, as I'm giving monies, I'm getting closer to Allah, getting closer to Jannah. But every single one of these things has an opportunity for me to spend in the wrong way. So it's a means, like I said to you in the beginning of this session, I said, wealth is a means to an end. Wealth is a means to an end, and it depends on the person. So for example, right now, you can spend wealth to buy alcohol. You can spend wealth to gamble. You can spend wealth to bribe. That's another one. Okay? So each of these is going to end you up with sin, with something that's going to, be bad. Now there's many stages that happens, okay, in each of these. Either you're doing something good, there's many stages. You do something bad, there's many stages. So let's say, for example, I'm spending wealth in the right way. I'm giving Sadaqa. I'm looking after people. I'm doing this. So I'm getting a lot of reward. With my family I'm spending, I get reward. With my, I'm going to work every day, halal way, getting reward. I bring that and I spend in a halal way. I earn it in a halal way, reward. Okay. I'm avoiding gambling, reward. Just the fact that I'm avoiding gambling, I'm tempted, I don't want to go, there's reward. I'm avoiding drugs, there's reward. I'm avoiding, alcohol, there's reward. I'm avoiding, spending the wealth in harming others, there's reward in that. Reward. Then what happens? There's barakah. Allah gives a lot of barakah in your wealth. So you're getting all these barakah and blessings. Like a little wealth will last you a long time. Then another special thing that happens. Anyone who trades halal, spends halal, earns halal, your family, the disputes are very low. Enmity between your family is low. Hatred amongst your family members is low. But when you start to, the other way, let's look at the other way, yeah? If I'm spending haram, if I'm earning haram and spending haram, what happens is you get bad deeds. Every single avenue I turn, I'm doing haram is bad deeds. Then what happens is, barakah is taken away. Reward is taken away. Shaitan comes in. And then the Quran has been very clear in Surah Ma'idah, Surah number 5, ayah number 90, Allah said, 91. Allah said the shaitan will come in between and he's going to now make your family members fight with each other. He's going to cause enmity through gambling, through alcohol. That's one thing I get in this world. Then what happens is, like you might have a lot of money, but you haven't got barakah, you haven't got blessings. And then you got fights, you got quarrels, and you're not feeling well. When I say not feeling well, you might be as a healthy person as anything. But mentally, deep inside, something's not right. See, people when they sin, this is what happens to them. That deep inside there's a struggle, there's a fight. Something that is not right. They've got everything they want. They've got all the comforts they can ask for. Everything around them is fine. They've got the sofas, the TVs, the decor, you name it. The fridge is full of food, the bank balance is healthy, everything is there. But something deep inside is not right. They feel stress. They have silly quarrels with the family members. The family members then go off into doing things that they're not supposed to do with their wealth, and then it brings more burden to the whole family, and the circle is vicious. And then you don't look, if you bring halal in all the time, then you're likely to pray, salah and so on. If you don't bring halal, the Quran has said here, Surah number 5, ayah number 91, you're not going to be praying, you're not going to be doing dhikr. Shaitan will find it easy for him to stop you from all of that. Then the next thing is the person who spent halal, gave halal, earned halal. Well, like I said to you, Day of Judgment, he goes there. He's with the right people. He's got shade. He's got clouds above his head that give him shade. He's gonna now go with if a person is, subhanallah, if a person trades well, trades halal, he's brought up on the Day of Judgment with all the businessmen that did halal, that they all traded in halal. If you trade in haram, or if you use your monies in a haram way, and then you neglected your deen, you neglected your prayers, you neglected your whole religion, then the person is brought up with the likes of Qarun, enemy of Fir'aun, enemy of Allah Azza wa Jal. So a friend of Fir'aun, but enemy of Musa alayhi salam. Qarun, who had a lot of wealth, but used that wealth to be neglectful neglectful from his duties towards the religion. He's neglected the whole religion and so on. So you wake up with the wrong people on the Day of Judgment, and then of course it's one thing after another. So each route you go down, you're bringing yourself with the wealth a means towards your own success or a means towards your own failure. And the ultimate thing that we've got to in all these things, Allah has encouraged us, spend, give. and spending it the right way. But then there's one thing which I did mention last week, and I'm going to say an ayah to kind of to stamp it down. And this is something which we need to take in consideration, that the more you deal with wealth, okay, the more you deal with wealth, the ulama have mentioned very clearly, they said, look, if wealth is in your hands, there's no problem. But once wealth enters your heart, there's a big problem. If wealth is in your hands, meaning that it's here, I'm dealing with it, I'm trading and so on, but it's not in my heart, I don't have any love for it. Like, I don't have more love for this wealth than Allah and His Messenger and my duties, then it's fine. But the moment I have more mahabba or more sort of love for the wealth than Allah and His Messenger or my duties in the deen, then it's a serious problem. So listen to this ayah, Surah number 9, ayah number 44. Is it ayah number, let me check. Oh, sorry, ayah number 24. Surah 9, ayah 24. قُلْ إِنْ كَانَ آبَاؤُكُمْ. Allah says, tell them, O Muhammad, say, if it is your fathers, وَأَبْنَاؤُكُمْ, or perhaps your sons or your children, وَإِخْوَانُكُمْ, or your brothers, وَأَزْوَاجُكُمْ, or maybe your spouses, وَعَشِيرَتُكُمْ, or maybe your clan, وَأَمْوَالٌ اقْتَرَفْتُمُوهَا, or maybe the wealth that you are acquiring, وَتِجَارَةٌ تَخْشَوْنَ كَسَادَهَا, or maybe it's the trade that you fear the loss of and the failure of, وَمَسَاكِنُ تَرْضَوْنَهَا, or the dwelling places where you live in and you love to live in those places. أَحَبَّ إِلَيْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. If any of these things, let me mention them again. Your fathers, mothers, parents, granddads, grandfathers, okay, so there's people above you. أَبْنَاءُكُم, those who below you, your children, your nephews, your nieces, whatever, okay? Brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, clan, people who are close to me, my blood relatives and so on. Or the wealth that I acquire, or the trade that I have, or the dwelling places where I stay in, if any of these things become more lovable, more dearer to you than Allah, more dearer dearer to you than the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or more dearer to you than struggling in his pathway and doing your duties, fatarabbasu. Allah says, okay, wait, hatta ya'ti Allahu bi amri, until I bring my command about, meaning that you failed. And there's going to be consequences of that. Wallahu la yahdi al-qawm al-fasiqin. That means you've become rebellious, and Allah Azza wa Jal does not guide the people who are rebellious. Okay, so whatever we do, we're not supposed to bring the love of that wealth into the heart. The moment you do that, then there's going to be problems. At the moment you can separate the two and be very clear that this is wealth, this is a means to an end. So I've got to use the wealth to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And the more you do that, alhamdulillah, mashallah, alhamdulillah, no one's ever going to say anything to you. In fact, you could understand that the moment your wealth becomes more dear to you, you'll become like the people of Shu'aib. They said, أَصَلَاتُكَ تَأْمُرُكَ أَن نَتْرُكَ مَا يَعْبُدُ آبَاؤُنَا أَوْ أَن نَفْعَلَ فِي أَمْوَالِنَا مَا نَشَاءُ. They said to Shu'aib alayhi salam, they said, what, your prayers and this whole religious thing that you got going, whatever, does that actually tell you for us to leave the ways that we found our forefathers before? We've got to leave their habits and so on. And are you telling us that your religious way and your prayers are telling you and telling you that we can't do what we want to do with our own wealth? Like, it's my wealth, I should be able to do what I want. This is in Surah Hud, Surah number 11, ayah number 87. Are you saying that's the case? See, this is what happens. The moment you get, you go to this side of the balance, then you kind of think that, you know what, it's all my wealth, let me do what I want with it. So why do I have to listen to all of this? Why do I have to spend it here and not spend it here? Why do I have to take rules and so on? So that's what happens. And the moment, you've got another side, which is people who will go to the extent of giving to others, and they will say, you know what, we don't even want to thank you from you. This has also been mentioned, this is very praiseworthy. Like, when you give someone or you spend somewhere, one of the best things to do is to even forget about that you gave it, not to count it, not to start speaking about it, not to start even waiting for a thank you from, sometimes you give it to the fuqara, you give it to the poor people, and you're kind of waiting for that smile or for that happy thing, or for them to say to you, oh, thank you, jazakumullah, oh, you're so wonderful, or you've given before and you're giving now again, and this and that. I mean, of course, a good person will say that anyway, but the person who's giving sometimes wants to wait for that person to say it, and then they measure them up. If they've said it and there's enough of it and it's filled the ego of the giver, then it's like, okay, next time I'll give you as well. And if this person hasn't filled the ego of the one who's giving, then it's like, okay, so I gave you and you don't appreciate what I've given you, huh? Okay, I'm not going to give you any more. See, that wasn't the reason why you should have given anyway. I want you to look at Surah number 76, Surah Dahr, and ayah number 8 and 9. This is a praise of some of the Sahaba who gave, and they gave food, and you know, when it was even like thank you or whatever, we indebted to you. No, they said, innama nut'imukum liwajhillah. We are feeding you purely for the sake of Allah. La nuridu minkum jaza'an wala shukura. We don't want from you any reward, anything in return, nor do we want you to even have to say thank you to us. Appreciation, we don't even need that. We didn't do for that. We didn't do for the appreciation, and we didn't do for anything else in return. We did it purely for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah has told us in the Holy Quran again and again that those who spend, they have to be careful of not falling into showing off to others that they actually spent. Right? So this is again Surah number 2, ayah number 264. To spend, but not to fall into ri'a and nas, to show people that I've actually spent. This is another thing that people have, and subhanAllah, I don't know, alhamdulillah, we've got a portion of Muslims, alhamdulillah, when they donate, they prefer to say anonymous, not to say the name of someone. Some others are like, no, they have to give only in places where it's going to be known a little bit. There are some people like that, whether it's the masjid or other places. Sometimes, most of these call things that you have on the channels that are pumping out Islamic stuff, and then the callers will come in, I want to donate this much, and I want to, this is my name, this is who I am, right, waiting for all the people who know them to give them credit and say, oh yeah, I heard you gave that much, whatever. This is not the reason why we're giving, and so on, okay? So the system of Islam is very simple. Allah said in the beginning of the Quran, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. What we provided you, we want you to give away. And by doing that, following that system, you're earning reward, you're getting towards Jannah. By you going against that, then you're going against your own success and what you'd be able to get. And throughout the Quran, whether it's to do with bribes, like I said to you, that has been mentioned specifically. Let me give you the ayat about that, because people can use that for the wrong means. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah number 2, ayah number 188. Allah talks about giving bribes to judges, which is a haram thing. In fact, Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, he summed it all up. Because all the wealth we receive is as a test. Allah said, Innama amwalukum wa awladukum fitna. Right? This is an ayah that is repeated, or concept repeated again and again in the Holy Quran. Allah says, the wealth that you've got is a means of a test for you. And the children that you have is a means of a test for you. This is in Surah number 8, ayah number 28. وَعَلَمُوا أَنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةً. Know that whatever wealth and whatever children you've been given, it's a means of a test. Just to test you, which way are you going to go? What are you going to do? Are you going to go towards the halal, or are you going to go towards the haram? Okay, so that's one thing. And Sulaiman alayhi salatu salam, as I said, he summed it all up. Because Allah gave him a lot of wealth. A lot of wealth. And when you're a king, when you got so much wealth, you can do what you like. Who's there to question you? You can make the rules as you go along. That's what they do. They make the rules as they go along. They hide their wealth wherever they want. A lot of these, big people who are in power, what I'm saying, a lot of wealth comes underneath them. They can do what they like. So Sulaiman alayhi salatu salam, he summed it up really nicely. Surah number 27, ayah number 40. What happened is, when Sulaiman alayhi salam asked, who can bring that throne of Bilqis right in front of him? And when it was brought right in front of him in a split second, then he said these words, فَلَمَّا رَآهُ مُسْتَقِرًّا عِنْدَهُ قَالَ هَذَا مِنْ فَضْلِ رَبِّي. When he saw that the throne is right there in front of him, the majestic throne of Bilqis was brought to him from Yemen all the way to Palestine in a split second. He looked at it and he said, هَذَا مِن فَضْلِ رَبِّي. This is from the bounty of my Lord. لِيَبْلُوَنِي أَأَشْكُرُ أَمْ أَكْفُرُ. He said, my Lord is testing me with all the wealth and the power and everything else that He's given me. He's testing me to see whether I am showing thanks or whether I am being ungrateful, whether I'm being grateful or ungrateful. وَمَنْ شَكَرَ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever is grateful will only find that the gratefulness that he showed will only benefit him in the future. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ. And whoever will be ungrateful, then my Lord is independent, not in need at all of this person. Kareem, and my Lord is very noble. He doesn't need to, he doesn't need whatever this person is offering anyway. So the thing is, subhanAllah, if you look at this, the whole of this summarized about wealth is this. Every piece Allah Azza wa Jalla has given us, Allah wants to see whether we're grateful or ungrateful. Now most of you are going to say that with wealth, if I'm grateful, I'm just going to say Alhamdulillah, right? That's be grateful. And that's it, that's how you be grateful. Well, sorry to say, that's only probably 1% of being grateful. Saying Alhamdulillah is the most easiest way and the minimum way of you showing Allah Azza wa Jalla that you're thankful. 99% is still left. What is 99%? Do you know that the ulama have said, being grateful, shukr means being grateful. Being grateful of every gift Allah has given us needs to be spent or not only spent, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Every gift that Allah Azza wa Jalla has given, if we use it in the halal way, automatically it's showing gratefulness to Allah. If you use it in a haram way, automatically it's being ungrateful to Allah. So for example, Allah has given us eyes. When you use eyes to see halal only, every time you see halal, you're being grateful to Allah. This is the shukr of the eyes. Not just Alhamdulillah. You said Alhamdulillah, Allah has given me good eyes. But the fact that you look at halal, that is now a demonstration, the 99% of you showing Allah that you're grateful. And the moment that you look at something which is haram, may Allah forgive us, ameen, that is something which is a way that you're showing that you're ungrateful to Allah Azza wa Jalla. The same with ears, the same with the mouth, the same with anything that you've got. The tongue. Halal, when you talk about halal, that is being grateful that Allah gave me a tongue, and grateful Allah showed me how to, He taught me how to speak and so on. That is being grateful. You use your tongue in the haram way, okay, then that is being ungrateful. The same with wealth. Wealth, the gratefulness of wealth is the more Allah gives me, the more I'm going to abide by what Allah has told me to do. That is shukr every day. When I spend in the right way, when I earn in the right way, okay, that is the shukr of wealth. That is the gratefulness of wealth. And the moment I don't do any of that, then that is me, failing to do that. That is being ungrateful. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us tawfiq to spend, to earn in a halal way. Because look, one of the first questions on the Day of Judgment is what? There's 4 questions on the Day of Judgment. No person can move their feet on the Day of Judgment without answering these 4 questions. Okay. Allah will ask us about our life, where we spend it, about our youth, where we specifically spend it, about the knowledge that we had and whether we practiced it. And then the 4th one is وَعَنْ مَالٍ مِّنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبَهُ وَفِيمَا أَنْفَقَهُ. Allah will ask specifically about wealth, how you acquired it and where you spent it, both. And Allah wants to know that. So it's a specific question. And He said in the Holy Quran, and with this ayah I'll end this, a beautiful ayah for us to contemplate, for us to think, which sums up everything we sort of said, is مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, whatever you've got with you, whatever you leave with you, will come to an end. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. But whatever you invest and leave with Allah Azza wa Jalla, that will be everlasting. So this is Surah number 16, Surah Nahl, ayah number 96. So whatever you've spent, whatever you've sent forth for your akhirah, you'll always find. And when I say akhirah, I just don't mean the sadaqas and the few things. Don't forget, a lot of things are covered in today's thing. Every form of halal way we're spending, it is sent to the next world. All the things you're doing of livelihood, spending on the family, all the correct things you're doing. Even you might be spending on a bus ticket or a train ticket. It's halal. You're making a halal journey. It's reward. You had a choice. You could have avoided the ticket. You could have not paid. You could have scammed them. You could have done something else, right? But you avoided all of that. So it's halal. You get reward for it. And subhanallah. Let me just say this one thing before I end this today. Yeah. Subhanallah, I came across this story. Beautiful story. See, some of us if you get away with one of those journey tickets, right? Well, what do? You're like, I got away with it. Yeah. I just saved £5, I saved £10. Oh, the bus driver never saw me, whatever. The train driver never doesn't know. I hopped back off, and woohoo! I just saved some monies, right? And we kind of think about these things. Shaykh Ashraf Ali Thanvi from India. What happened is he went on a train journey, and somebody noticed him. He went to his destination, and when he got to his destination, Shaykh Ashraf Ali Thanvi, what he did, he bought two tickets. After he got back to his home destination, and when he bought two tickets, he bought them, paid for them, and then he ripped them up and threw them away. And he was going off to his house. So somebody stopped him there and said, what are you doing? Well, you just bought, what are you doing? You just bought two tickets, you just ripped them up and threw them in the bin. He said, yes, I did it on purpose. He said, why? He said, because the journey I made today, going by train over there and coming back, when I was in a rush and I had to catch the train and I didn't have time to buy the ticket. So I said to myself, you know what, the conductor on the train, I'll pay him the money and I'll buy the ticket. So on the way, there was no conductor. There's no one checking for any tickets or anything. I got to my destination. Over there was no way of buying another ticket. So I got back on the train thinking that I'll see another conductor, I'll pay for the tickets. No one was there. I came all the way back to my place. When I came back to my place, I got, I'm ready to get out of the station. I didn't have to pay for my journey there and back. But I thought, no, it's not going to be halal. So I bought two tickets, one for the journey there, one for the journey back. And I bought them, I ripped them up, and I threw them so that now I paid. That's how we should be. Even doesn't matter who's owning that. It's a journey, it's a service. You're using it. You've got to make it halal for yourself. Just make it halal, guys. Just make it halal. And get on to the day of judgment by spending, because that money you spend, that's also going towards your akhirah. That you avoided the haram and you spend it in a halal way. It'll be part of the akhirah. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us tawfiq. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair. Any questions that you've got? Just an announcement that we won't have a lesson next week because I've got to travel somewhere next week. But any questions you've got? Yes.
If to make it halal or to make it a reward for, you need to have a niyyah or just...
No, you don't have to have any niyyah. No intention needed. You just spend it a halal way, it's recorded. You don't have to have intention for it. So don't worry. I know I haven't had niyyah all my life as well. I know what you're thinking of. You have no niyyah, right? No, you don't need niyyah. It's counted. Khalas, alhamdulillah. Okay, guys, if you want to be updated, please, the man behind the camera there, if you leave your details with him, he'll tell you when the lessons are on or off. He'll let you know, inshallah. So next week we won't have a lesson because I need to get to the Midlands and so on. I've got something over there. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الحاملات سنا ونور والراسمات هنا سرور يا حلوة تلك السنين.
The Safar curriculum covers all the Islamic educational needs of young Muslims today in a fun, simple and engaging way. Tried and tested for over 15 years at one of the UK's leading maktabs. The curriculum has been adopted by hundreds of institutions around the world and makes your child's journey in seeking knowledge easy, meaningful and dynamic. This innovative and comprehensive curriculum covers Quran and Tajweed, Islamic studies, du'as and surahs, as well as Arabic in an integrated and structured way. Visit safarpublications.org to find out more.